I'd like to welcome everybody back to the True That Show. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on again. As always, we have an amazing speaker. Caroline, I know it's not going to be you. I wanted to share with you, though. How are you doing today? How are you doing today?
Well, definitely not amazing because I'm not the amazing speaker, but I'm doing great. How are
Okay.
you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. So, for everyone that's been following me and Caroline, my goal today was to throw the pot. So you'll know what that means. It's
And
a
you
flower
failed.
pot. Yeah, yeah.
And you failed. So
I
it's
failed.
just,
I failed miserably. But
yeah.
hey, look at here. Here's a woman. Here's a woman that we're going to be speaking with today. She's amazing. We both have had the grace of knowing this woman for a number of years, so we could go on and on about it. But in having a conversation with her earlier, one of the things that she loves about her business, which obviously loves about her life, because you can't have this word in one area and not the other, is freedom. Freedom. And when I think about, we do a podcast for entrepreneurs and lifepreneurs, right? People that are all in, jumping in, and you hear that word. Some people achieve it. Some people are still dreaming and hoping of it, right? So when you think of the word freedom, because, let's face it, someone, if they were to have a conversation or a cup of tea with you, they definitely, they get your message, right? You're out there, you're strong, you're making things happen. And I mean, I know your life. You've got some great freedom. What do you think when we hear the word freedom?
It's funny, as you're speaking, I'm thinking freedom is really all, it's relative. Because like when I was 7, freedom was going to bed at 7:30, not 7. And as you grow up, freedom becomes, you want to turn 18 because you want to be free to have a drink whenever you want it. Sometimes freedom can mean like, having the power to push the button mute when someone is talking, which is me in this instance. I have the power here. I can mute everyone. So, and Deb knows it. I'm joking. But yes, freedom is so relative to the age that you are, the situation you're at. But I would say that for me now in life, where I'm at, freedom is really being getting up in the morning, feeling happy, feeling light. And I'm not talking about weight, I'm talking light, like no fear, no anxiety, no addictions, no schedule that I didn't choose myself, no norms to follow. So I feel free by being happy and content. And for me, that's freedom. And a lot of things need to happen to feel this way. Obviously, you need to have a job that will allow you to make your own schedule, which is not a job. Usually, it's really your own business. You need to have, the finances that will allow you to do that as well. But I mean, for me, the real definition of freedom is just to feel light in the morning when you get up and looking forward to taking on your day. So not being prisoned or jailed by emotions, feelings, people, resentment, and all of that. And yeah, probably a year ago I would have told, not a year, but like 10 years ago I would have told you freedom is having like 5 million in the bank and no responsibilities. But for me now, feelings are way more important than money. Like the feeling of feeling healthy and great. What is freedom to you, Deb?
Well, wow, right? I mean, I got to say, wow, what an incredible response. Look at that. I threw the pot and I got back a rose garden. I was like, how do you top that? I mean, the only thing that I can say around freedom, and I've been a bit of an advocate of it for a long time, because I think, like you said, as you move to one level to one level to one level, you want freedom, you want freedom, you want the ability to make your own decisions, right? And I mean, I think that's what 2-year-olds want. They're like, no. And then you get more responsibility and you get more choices in your life. And I think really it comes down to choice. I'm a big, pro, kind of pro freedom person. I got a poster of Janis Joplin in my office. I don't mind sitting on the side. I don't mind being in the middle, and I don't mind fighting for other people's rights. I'm a little bit like that, right? So I just think when you have choices, And that just sparkles everywhere, right? Just sparkles everywhere. And I think it's one of the things that, sometimes we want to give to our kids, right? We want to give them this plethora of opportunity. Now, sometimes it's a good idea, sometimes not so much, but really, I just think it comes down to being able to make your own choices, right? And that's another thing about being an entrepreneur. We talked about that this morning. So me and Caroline were having that, girl talk, about dating people. I'll just say it out there. I was talking about dating somebody that doesn't live the same world that I live in terms of entrepreneurship. And it's just like, and trying to go, okay, so my 9 to 5 existence and your not 9 to 5 existence, how does that work? And it's difficult for people that have never, it was a conversation. I was like, oh, I forgot. There's people that don't even know entrepreneurs. And they're like, I don't get what you do. And I'm like, oh, I forgot, because I hang out with people that live in a plethora of choices and opportunities that, and how difficult that can be on sides. So there you go. I'm being transparent this morning, talking about the differences of being an entrepreneur in a relationship. But you know what? Enough about us.
You know
I gotta
that,
say, you
but
taught me.
that subject is coming. Dating. There's so many different titles right now that comes to mind. Dating over 50, dating when you're not online savvy, dating when you're an entrepreneur, dating when you're a powerful woman. Oh my gosh, there's so much, but I think we're gonna do a series on dating. So that's it. That was my sidebar. You can keep on going.
Oh, well, thank you. So so sometimes Caroline talks about how much work I go, hey, we're gonna do a book, and she's like, we're on a podcast, we're getting interviewed, and she's like, we're doing a what? I'm like, apparently we're doing a book. So there we go. Caroline just gave me another job to do. But enough about us, because really one of the reasons why we're here is to hear from an amazing woman. If any of you have had the blessing to know Elaine White, this is the kind of person that is so gracious, but yet so powerful. She's like this calm ocean that just keeps moving in the direction she wants it to go. I know she loves freedom. I know she has a lot of freedom. And honestly, what a blessing for us. So, Elaine, I would like to introduce you. So, True That Media would like to introduce you to share with yourself a little bit about what it is that you're doing. And we're talking about the conversation of freedom. But really, one of the things that, we all want to know is, what made you say yes to doing this book called 20 Powerful Women in Network Marketing Tell All? What was your yes?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for being on True That. This is just an honor. Love you ladies so much. And this is just, it's a thrill. It's a thrill and an honor. The book was actually a thrill and an honor as well. And thank you for that. You guys, to be perfectly honest, my first inclination was to not do it. As Deb, you're going to recall, I was like, no, I'm not sure I have anything to say. This doesn't make sense. So I'm so glad I did it, because the reason I actually ended up saying yes was I really believe in paying it forward. I mean, I have been blessed with freedom. You were talking about freedom is my life every day. I have choices. I have had choices, incredible choices. My husband and I retired him 7 years ago through this industry. So the reason I said yes to the book was I really have a goal. I said it recently, a couple of years ago, to help 60 people make a 6-figure income. Now, to do that, this might be a way to touch more people, right? So I thought, Elaine, it's not about you. It's not really about you telling your story. It's about other people hearing and maybe influencing them. So that's really why I said yes, is to help my goal of helping 60 get to a 6-figure income. So they, again, and like Caroline said, it's not just financial freedom. It's what that brings when you have freedom, when you do have the resources you can set aside. Oh my gosh, the life, the choices, the opportunities you have to live to your fullest potential and help others you got to pay it forward. You want everyone to live like this, right? You want everyone to experience, to do whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do it, wherever they want to do it.
Yes, and I know, Elaine, that you were actually a very high executive in the corporate world, and you walked away from this world Some probably called you crazy. I'm pretty sure some called you crazy. I didn't know you back then, but I will bet money some did. So, can you tell us a little bit, what made you walk away? And then what made you walk in the world of network marketing?
I love why I walked away. I walked away to start a family. So very late in life, my husband and I decided to start a family. We went to China and got our little sweetie pie. And coming back with her, there was no way I was going back to the boardroom. I mean, because I had a massive job, bought and sold 13 companies, ran human resources on a global level for over 25 years. Big job, huge responsibility. Loved it. But honestly, you can't really raise a family around that. It was just all encompassing. So retired to raise my family. But after, a couple of years, that income really changes your lifestyle, right? And I wanted to give her everything and just, so I was looking for something, believe it or not, that I could do around my family. I didn't even know about this industry. Honestly, I did not even know network marketing existed. No one had ever approached me, ever, ever. And so when I actually saw a before and after picture, called the gal for the product, then I dug a little deeper, realized there's something called residual income. Like, what? Wait. So once I heard about leveraged income and residual income and really understood it, within a very, very short time, I jumped in to her shock. She didn't even like this girl's like, what? Who is this person? Who's the stranger? Anyway, I jumped in and just took it on as a second career and did it just around, my family, because I mean, my priority, I was born to be a mom, didn't know it till late in life, but that was God's calling for me. And, but I found an industry truly that I could use all my professional, background. Network marketing is really about people. And I was human resources for 25 years. So I got the people skills. So just kind of took my love for people and put that into network marketing.
That's amazing. And so, we know because we know a little bit of your story. And I believe that, you've decided to get into a people business and utilize the gift that you have around that. And it sounds like you were very fueled. You had a really strong why. You came to this realization, this family. You did something pretty unusual. We all know that when you have a residual income, a leveraged income, and if you don't know, you do know now, because I love hearing how you never knew of this industry before. And I think that's one of the reasons why myself and Caroline have this podcast around entrepreneurship and lifepreneurship. You don't need to be an entrepreneur to live like an entrepreneur. You just have that gutso and right. And it pushes to some pretty amazing things. And you've done something pretty amazing in this industry. And you did what some people take decades to do in this industry, which is to be inducted into the Millionaire Club. And you did that in just a short amount of years. Elaine, you got to share with us other entrepreneurs that want that freedom that you're talking about. How did you do it?
It was an honor to be inducted into that $1 Million Club. And, the only way you get there is by helping others. It's like Zig Ziglar says, help enough people get what they want, you get what you want. And honestly, it is truly, it just paying forward when you love what you have and you do, what do you want? You want others to have it and do it. So helping others find their goals and reach their goals and share, that is it. That's honestly, truly how you get there. And I just was really fortunate in the people that I was able to mentor and continue to meet, that they wanted the same. And their goals weren't the same as mine, and nobody's goals are obviously the same, but they wanted what they wanted, and my goal was to help them achieve it. And that's how anyone can get into the $1 Million Club, or to whatever their level is of what maybe they want a $1 billion club. I don't know, because it's all available if you help enough people.
That's
Yes.
amazing.
And what I love is you're so humble. You're so humble. You're talking and you're like, oh, and I was so blessed because I got good people to mentor. And that's one thing I love about you. Like I've met you on stage because you were already on stage when I actually started in this business. But there's much more than luck in there. And I think that there's much more than being blessed. I know you have a very strong work ethic. Can you share a little bit about us? Like, what's your drive? Or, and I know that your why is your family, and I find that so beautiful. And your daughter is so lucky. I mean, she was blessed. You guys were blessed. But can you bring us back to what's your work ethic? Because you don't get there by luck. And no
Well,
matter how good you are in life and blessed, it takes more than that.
I will say there is some effort. I mean, it doesn't just happen. I mean, you obviously have to follow up and reach out and expose and share. But at the same time, those 25 years in corporate, I worked with incredible people. I'm still friends with all the people that I worked with, all the CEOs and the members of the boards, and, all of us, we still vacation together. I mean, literally, I have worked with great people, and I have been personally mentored by fabulous people in the business world, in the network marketing world. So I do think mentoring and masterminding is huge. Your associations, it's who you hang around with, helps build your work ethic, right? So if you're around people that are successful and achieving, and you're going to be successful and achieving, because that's the mindset. That's what you read. It's what you do. The books that I've read have been incredible. And because my mastermind group, and I'm still, again, with the people that I worked with in a totally different industry. They're in, I'm like literally rocket scientists. I was in the intelligence community, literally 25 years in the super top secret government world. Then I was in the .com, and I was, all kinds of things. Those people, total different worlds, we still mastermind and talk together, and they help set my work ethic. Yes, I mean, being an entrepreneurial is hard because you've got to get up, you got to be disciplined, you got to do your thing, and no one's watching you. What you do in your private moments is what you do in your private moments, right? That's how you get ahead. It's when nobody's watching. But if you're associating with people, if your circle of 5 are people that you aspire to be like, then that really helps. I do believe associations are key.
That's fabulous. That's fabulous. I think that we hear that many times, right? And I think we hear it, but it doesn't necessarily land until a lot of times people get uncomfortable. It's like, that's really where I think, making change. It's difficult to leave old books. It's difficult to leave old relationships. It's difficult to leave old thoughts. It's difficult to not let other people, rest in your mind. Like, you hear that. Me and Caroline were talking about that this morning in that conversation, where someone's like, wow, you kind of work a lot, eh? And how our instant to defend it, like, we want to defend it. And it was like, no, I'm actually just really creative. And this is like, I don't understand. And so I was sharing with her this morning, on how you wouldn't ask an artist that was painting was painting a picture, oh, don't work on the weekends. Like, if they're inspired, they're inspired. You're an inspired woman, right? We're inspired people. The people that you're associating with in that mastermind are driving and supporting your inspiration and your creativity. So yes, absolutely. I think that the name of the interview should be Blessed.
Yes, and the one thing that I will ask you to expand on is, what's your definition of freedom? Because you are happy and clearly loving what you're doing, which for me, that's a big definition of freedom. But what is your definition of freedom?
Oh my gosh, Caroline. I just want to circle back to what Deb just said before I go to the freedom is, people always ask me, Elaine, do you never work or do you always work? I'm like, I don't know the difference. I mean, like, I either work 24/7 or I don't work ever. I don't know, because it's all incorporated and it's all so enjoyable. And I truly, honestly feel like I never work I feel like I don't work a day in my life, because I do what I love. And I really mean that 1,000%. So either I'm working 100% or I'm working never. I don't know which. So, and that goes kind of to the freedom, is because I honestly, to me, again, I'm 64, my husband's 69, and we both had a very, very long career where you don't own your life, right? You don't get to, make your own decisions. You live on somebody else's schedule too. So for the past 7 years, for us to literally make every decision based on what we want, to how much we give to somebody, what we do, where we go, who we travel with, where we travel, short of COVID and all that. it is so, it's like a perfect life. I mean, I wake up in the morning and I write my gratitudes every single morning, and every day there's like so many to write about, and I never repeat them. I try never never to repeat like through the whole year, because there's always something, because I can do whatever I want. I want everyone to really have the freedom to do what they want. It feels incredible. It really does. It's the way life should be. If I could make everybody feel like this, live like this, that's my goal. That's clearly my goal.
Wow. Well, I think we've really encapsulated not only why you chose to be in the book. Look, people, read this woman's chapter. Read this woman's chapter, because there's a lot of great stuff in that chapter that you're not going to be able to get today in the short time that we have. You've shared so many great tips. If people, there's a lot of gems in what you just shared. I love, I know that our listeners are not able to watch your face light up every time you ask a question. You got this big smile on your face. It really is, who you are, is what they're hearing is who you are. I can hear the smile. I can hear the laughter. Before we wrap up this amazing interview, and thank you so much for being on the show, and thank you so much for being as part of the book. Is there anything that you want to kind of wrap up with, or if people want to reach out and hear more from you, hang out with you, be a part of that group with you, experience, network marketing with you, is there any way that you can tell people to get a hold of you? Anything you want to wrap up with us, Elaine?
Oh my goodness. Well, of course, yes, anybody who ever wants to get a hold of me, I mean, my contact number, I'm happy to share that. My email is ewhite1021@comcast.net. Phone number, I'm happy to share that as well, if that is okay, ladies. Is that something we do?
Absolutely.
Yep, 425-281-8418. I'm on Facebook, Elaine White. So you guys, honestly, this has been so fun, so fantastic. And I really believe this industry is about people helping people. And so wherever you are on anybody's team, I'm happy to help you. If you're new to the industry and you want to join a team, happy to help you find the right fit for you, find the right company. It may not be the company I'm in. It may be, but I definitely have a business sense, and I can help you talk through those things, because the industry is great. And the relationships of the people sidelines across companies is incredible. So I have friends all across the industry in all different kinds of companies, and I highly recommend that. It has a bad reputation, but it's really not like that. When you aspire and you work with the right people like Deb and Caroline, and you associate with the right people, you can enjoy all the relationships in a remarkable way across the industry.
I love what you just said there. And you know what? I almost feel like we should name you the dream prospect. We all want someone like you that will call us and say, "Hi, can I join your team, please, and make it a career?" You're like, "Oh my gosh," and then be this dedicated. But my just because Deb knows it, I like to have the last word sometimes. So I'll ask you my closing. So, Elaine, can you share, because for me it is a magical industry, and it's an industry that I feel it's only when you're in that you can truly experience, the perks and the gems, and it's not all about money. But share with us what has been your most magical moment in your network marketing experience. And I'm sure that there's more than one, but if you can pick one.
Oh, wow. I'm going to cry.
Oh,
There's no way I'm not going to cry on this, because it is magical, and it is not about the money. It is about other people being recognized and other people realizing their worth. And I can tell you moments where I have seen people walk across stage, people stand in my foyer and hug me and saying, "I never thought I could do this. I never thought I could speak in front of a room. I never thought I was worthy of this." So it's not one time it happened, it's multiple times that I have seen the transformation of people. I'm telling you, this is so magical to me that is really emotional, because you can help somebody, and that, financially, but helping somebody emotionally, helping somebody find their worth, helping somebody achieve something and gain that pride, it's unbelievable. It is the best feeling in the entire world to me. That's the magical moments. And I will repeat, it's like when you hit the golf ball and it's absolutely perfect and you hear that sweet sound. It's like that. You just want to do it over and over and over again. So it's like, I want that feeling again and again and again, because it's incredible. It's incredible to see somebody else truly win.
Wow, thank you so much. I think that
Sorry about
I have the question that rocked the most, Deb. Not that it's a competition, but I just want to put it out there. Thank you so much for being so true and so, amazing and open and lovable. And I know for a fact that you're an amazing leader as well. So, yes, people do contact Elaine White. Thank you for your time today. And that's it. I'm going to wrap it here and thank everyone for joining us today.